Welcome back to Veteran Idiot. I'm Art, and this is Earl. Thanks for joining us on part 2 of Earl Becomes Heavier, but not necessarily faster. We'll find out though. So what we need to do today is we need to button up all of this and try and get it back on the ground and rolling. I don't know that we're going to be able to get the drive shaft done today and in this, hopefully we can get it in this episode, but the manifold won't bolt up with this cross member, so that's neat. Going to need a full exhaust system, also neat. So hopefully the money we saved in other areas will cover that. But let's get started by putting all this back together, getting the transmission lines run up. Gonna throw that old radiator in, see if we got clearance between the hood and the frame rails. Clearance these fender wells. And we got to flip that cross member in the back of the transmission and then tighten this engine down, get it running, get the timing set, get the air fuel ratio set. Sorry, Lord's peach juice is not agreeing this morning. And get that shifter in. That I can't wait to see, because that was this whole, cost more than this whole project altogether. No, it didn't, but it was really close. It's a greater portion of it. It's like the majority is here. It's right up there with the majority of the cost of this whole project. But anyways, I can't wait to see what it looks like. I think it's gonna be slick. And brake.
Ain't got no gas in it.
Okay, so one of the first things I want to do is I want to throw in this transmission dipstick before I put all this stuff in there. And I wish I could remember the name of this company, but these things are pretty slick. Just shove it down in there and then it's going to bolt up to the firewall. Hopefully one of these bolts line up. Ooh, also need to do a ground, an engine ground. Got one of them somewhere? Probably not. We'll find one. Whee! Oh, even with all this stuff out of the way, this is going to be interesting to get this down in here. Get in there. All right. Oh, it doesn't reach up to one of these bolts. I'll have to figure that out some other way. Interesting. Oakley dokley. I don't want to get it too close to the manifold, because you know manifolds do manifold things. That just might work right there. Let go of me. Just like char. I like it. Right there. Let's put it in. Okay, the dipstick's installed. It's real nice. Real nice. Well, we can start filling up the transmission, but I'm gonna get that line run first for that. But in order to do that, I also need to put this all together. This stuff. It's a lot. Didn't seem like a lot when I walked in here, but now that I'm looking at it, it's a lot. Let's do it. Oh, these brass radiators ain't no joke. I don't think that this fan shroud is going to work for us, but nope. It'll be too offset. Alright. So, there's got to be a lot of cutting. Actually, it's not too bad. So it needs to go back. The biggest thing here is this ain't going to fit, is it? Not even close. Why? All right, that settles that. New rad on the way. Stupid. Well, let's get everything else put back together. And that way we can just drop in a radiator later. And I'll just back it out a little bit and we'll run a hose through it, run it. I don't know if we'll be able to get it warmed up like that enough to get it moving. Maybe we can throw this tiny little radiator in for the time being. Nope, hoses are on the wrong side. Okay, since the radiator threw a dampener in our plans, we're just gonna go ahead and throw this whole front end on. Cue that time lapse, Sheila.
So I've come to the conclusion, just a rotten piece of fruit. So I'll end up dying slowly, rotting away. See, I just want to be able to climb without a fall, to get out of this mazeland and run. Please strike me thunder, let me get closer to the light. Please strike me thunder, so I can be free. So I've come to the conclusion, I'm just one man amongst thousands. In this world I'll loathe them, sure they'll do fine without me.
Okay, got the whole front end put back on. That was more excitement than I care to have for a long time. So we're just gonna hold off on more excitement and put this battery in, get all the wiring done, see what kind of fires we can make. I still gotta get that resistor wire off from underneath the dash and replace it with a regular wire that has no resistance or very, very little resistance. So I can get 12 volts at this HEI here. Let's throw the battery on, see what we got. Dang it. Ow! Oh, why is everything so sharp in here? One battery incoming. So heavy. I don't think this battery hold down was factory. It's real nice. Gets the job done. All right. Hook up the power. Your power. I don't know what it is in French. I still need to come up with a ground strap between the engine and the chassis. That has not happened yet. Come on, washer. You don't belong there. Somebody doing burnouts next door. Sorry, I mean, I don't blame them, but can I join in? So I got a temporary negative battery cable hooked up. I gotta go get a bigger one. Not a bigger one, ground straps for everything. There we go. See if we got headlights. Come on, headlights. Oh, snap. Parking lamps? Atta girl. How about turn signals? Oh, it's coming all together. I don't know, it all went back together. I only had like 25 extra bolts. I don't know where they all went. All the holes are filled everywhere. Okay, looks like I just need to disconnect that resistor wire. The wire I did have hooked up has power with ignition. Not sure, maybe there's just a bad ground at some point or it wasn't connecting over. Like I said, I still need to ground the engine to the chassis. It is not currently grounded to the chassis. It's just through the motor mounts. All right. World's most expensive shifter here. Now we need to put it in. Problem is that the original hole way up here, not gonna work for us. Just doesn't work. So that's gonna leave a giant gaping hole in there. We'll cover it up with a license plate or something simple enough to bend over the top of that, seal it down. I'll get a new carpet. This one's cracking and falling apart anyway. So, but this guy is gonna go underneath the floor right about here. So underneath, it straddles over the transmission and can actuate. I'm going to tilt this lever back some to get it away from the dash here, and then we'll move the arm to accommodate for that. That way when it's in its drive position, it'll have plenty of actuation. It's got a pretty large swing on it. Might just leave it the way it is up next to the dash here, right there. That'll work well enough. So we need to cut a hole in this guy that matches the dimensions here for this thing in this area. So we'll go ahead and do that. It'll be like right here. All right, so measure this out, cut a hole in that thing, mount it up, and then we'll get down there. We got to put the arm on the transmission and then measure the rod and everything else to get it lined up. Cool. So all I did was take this PVC pipe here, or actually it's conduit. I took that, cut out some 1.5-inch spacers in it, and then we'll throw this underneath there, and that'll give us the appropriate lift we need, or actually depth that we need to get it underneath this floor. And I'll throw some bolts in her, and it's done. And drill some holes. Holy Oleos. Okay, so I got the spacers in, it's dropped down, touches a little bit here, I'll clearance that for it, but now it cycles all the way through. That's all the way first, second, drive, neutral, reverse, and then park. All the way back through. Neutral locks out, reverse, park. Awesome. It's gonna look good. Look good. Ooh, these friggin' mosquitoes. Okie dokie. So up here, that's the shifter. It through the floor. The linkage coming down, and then this arm just bolts right to the side of the transmission for the lever. You leave the old one on, it stays in place, it's out of the way. Kick down comes off, this slides over the barrel, tightens down, kick down goes back on, and it stays in place. And then you just cut that to length, and it's good to go. And we are good to go for a shifter, Lokar, for the win. Still expensive though. Well, it's just about all we're gonna be able to do for this evening. Wanted to get you guys a video at least for this week. I got a lot of stuff going on this weekend, so I wouldn't be able to get it knocked out and for the rest of this week. So front end is back on. I'm going to throw the bumper on here in a little bit, but everything is ready. Shifter is in, it's adjusted, good to go, up and down through all the gears. This is just about all I can do before I have to get the driveline, a radiator, and the exhaust. And that'll all be in the next episode. Thanks for sticking around.
Don't hose me. Maybe later.